Hello everyone, this is Zooc, and today I'm bringing you a new drawing video. This time it's going to be also a creature from the Warhammer universe, namely a Nurgle Plague Hulk. Before I talk about my personal life, which nobody cares about, I will read you the bio from the wiki. As some people suggested, the Lexiconum is also a pretty good resource for that, but for this specific creature, the wiki seems to contain more information than the Lexiconum. So here we go. The Plague Hulk is a demon engine dedicated to the service of the chaos god of pestilence and disease, Nurgle. A demon engine is a nightmarish artificial construct used by the forces of chaos that is a fusion of a real space vehicle or combat walker with a possessing demonic spirit of the warp. The Plague Hulk is a multi-limbed combat walker that resembles the hybrid fusion of a defiler or soul grinder demon engine with a corpulent demon of Nurgle. The Plague Hulk is ungainly and sickening to look upon. Staggering into battle on corroded metal limbs, its engine belching great shrouds of reeking vapor and pestilent fog that poisons the very earth itself. The mechanical chassis of the Plague Hulk supports a seething, maggot-ridden mass of putrescent demon flesh, at the center of which sits a massive gaping maw capable of vomiting a tide of unspeakable foulness that can rot flesh and corrode metal. This weaponized ability is classified by the Ordo Malleus as Maw Cannon, and is a weapon common to larger demon engines. The Plague Hulk armament also includes an arm-fused cannon of arcane origin known as Rot Cannon. The Rot Cannon belches out shells that are so impregnated with dark ichor and infection that a mere scratch from one of the weapon's bone fragments will immediately and agonizingly fester into a crippling injury. The Plague Hulk, much like the Defiler and Soul Grinder demon engines that it so closely resembles, is also armed with two massive mechanical dreadnought close combat weapons known as Iron Claws, which are also sometimes called Servo Claws. These weapons usually take the form of large piston-driven claws featuring three-bladed talons, and are fully capable of tearing main battle tanks into pieces and wiping out entire squads of infantry in a single sweep. The demon machine also carries a weapon in its single massively powerful limb. This weapon usually takes the form of a gigantic cleaver or huge rusted flail, and when coupled with the creature's amazing strength are more than capable of cutting or smashing through even the toughest of armor plate. So yeah, this character sounds like a real pain in the ass with very little weaknesses. Obviously I don't know anything about it, but from the description it does sound like a pretty powerful unit. So this drawing took about 3.5 hours. I've gone back to doing stuff by hand for a while, but I will be returning to digital rather soon because I don't want to forget everything that I've worked towards. You know, practice does help a lot. But for the past, I would say more than a week or so, I've been caught up in this cleaning frenzy. I've just decided to modernize and revamp my entire house. So I've been working hard in real life, carrying numerous huge bags of junk that nobody really has any use for. It's been so many years since I've gone through a purge of my house that, I don't know, I just felt like it was time to do so, especially now with my aunt, who will probably come to live here for a while after her kid died, you know, being close to family and all that. I decided it would be a good opportunity to pick up a broom and, you know, kind of reorganize and clean out the house. We also have a lot of books here. That's something that I mentioned on Twitter, and a few people reacted in a way I didn't quite expect. Apparently there's a great sensitivity surrounding getting rid of old books that nobody reads anymore, because somehow they in the minds of certain people, they retain this hidden value and they should always be kept forever. But the fact of the matter is, most of the books I threw away either are available on Kindle in electronic format, or they're part of incomplete collections that you can get on Amazon for a few dollars, or it's just stuff that is outdated, you know, like history facts, all that stuff that is from like 1991 or so. And, you know, stuff like that always keeps getting refreshed and reprinted. And so there's really very little use in keeping every single book you come across. So I did get rid of about probably 100 pounds, 200 pounds of books by now. And we still have like 3 full libraries, even after that. So there is no shortage of books. So if the apocalypse ever comes and we end up in a Book of Eli situation, then I will probably have a pretty good arsenal of important literary works. But a lot of the stuff that was just taking up a lot of space was completely useless. Like my mom reads novels and fantasy stuff. I read on my iPad, and there's nobody else that'll ever touch those books. Because by the time I have kids, I'm not even sure if schools are going to be using actual printed books. I mean, right now in a lot of places in the world, they've replaced books completely with iPads and laptops and stuff. And yeah, sure, it does have a negative side to it, but it's also what's going to happen. It's It's an inevitable future. And there's no point in fighting it because you can't really do anything as a single individual except fill your entire house up with books and just look at them. And they're not even like decorative, a lot of them. They're just old. So I have no sense of guilt. I love to read. I'm not a person that'll wipe his ass with a good book. But at the same time, you gotta admit that if you're short on space, then keeping a lot of old books that are useless is not very wise. So did that and bought a bunch of furniture, assembled so many cabinets the last few days. It's pretty crazy. And now my house is actually looking pretty good. It doesn't look like an old people's home full of memories anymore. It looks like a somewhat minimalistic, clean, and orderly place. So I'm very happy about that. But yeah, that's kind of the reason why I haven't really been very active for a few days now. It's been exhausting. It really has. You should see the amount of trash I pulled out of this house. And you can barely tell the difference in certain places. Like it feels like nothing's missing. But it's definitely something that every person should go through at some point in their life. I think it sort of builds up a sense of responsibility about your surroundings, because once you go through a purge, then you kind of feel bad about leaving trash laying around. It feels like, fuck, I worked so much for this and now I'm just gonna ruin everything. So yeah, it sort of builds up a sense of orderliness, which you probably wouldn't have if you weren't to do something like that. So yeah, it's good. Everything is nice and clean now. So anyway, I'm gonna get back to it because I'm still not done, not even close. But I just wanted to put out this quick video and just get some practice in. So please rate that shit if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.